Join us at Women of Courage and celebrate the achievements of women. Before we begin, we're going to take a few moments to collect ourselves and to relax before we engage into our discussion. What we need to do is to focus now on bringing positive energy into our lives and into the world. The energy that we project every day is the same energy that we get back. We have all seen those people that can walk into a room and they glow. People want to be around them. People feel better being in their presence. That's the energy that we need to create. And once we learn how to do this, our lives will be filled with greatness. We will attract that positive energy. And how we can do this is by changing our outlook, meeting every day with gratitude, thankfulness, optimism, and once you do this, you will see a change in yourself. I want you to take a moment and close your eyes. Think about everything positive in your life. Family, friends, a career, your faith. All of this is how you start your day. Every morning when you wake up, I want you to think about what is positive in your life. I want you to list 10 reasons why your life is amazing. You will see the change. You will be changed. You will begin to attract life's blessings. Lead with gratitude. Be thankful and think positive.
This right here, this is the moment right before the day starts when you get to look in the mirror and tell yourself who you are. Now, you've been through some dark days. I believe that. But all that pain and struggle, that made the person you're looking at now. So when you walk out of these doors today, I need you to believe in yourself. I need you to believe you are the strongest person walking this planet. They don't know what you've been through. They don't know the grind it took for you to be here. So when you leave here today, I need you to show them.
Today we were supposed to end our discussion on the book, What You Must Do to Win. But before we get into the book, I want to say if you want to win, you must begin a lifetime of reading. There is no other way around it. You cannot get ahead in life without reading. You must stop depending on the decisions made by your friends to conduct your life. You must be able to get first-hand knowledge for yourself in order to conduct your life successfully. If you cannot read, go to the library and ask the librarian to find you someone that can teach you to read. Put a poster in the church bulletin. Talk to the pastor about finding someone that will teach you to read. But you must learn to read and stop being ashamed that you cannot read. You are trying to win. Put your emotions aside and get the job done. This will help the life of you and your children. If you have time to go to the internet and read articles about how far a man came once he learned to read. He was living in prison, and that's where he learned to read. When he was paroled, he successfully entered college. He wrote a book and started a business. You do not know what you can accomplish until you try. Please learn to read and start a lifetime of reading. Remember, you are a stranger to history if you cannot read, and it takes courage to do what is right. And learning to read is doing what is right for you and your family. Now for today's discussion. Last time, we discussed two words. The words were guilty and the word was betrayal. We also said that the psychologist said the key to behavior was motivation. That motivation is the driving force behind all human activities. Excuse me. I also said during the discussion that no matter how motivated you are, if you do not have the courage to act, nothing changes. Which means that if you do not have the courage to stand up against your ignorant friends and ignorant families, you're not going to win. Anytime you attempt to change, these are the two groups that you normally have to fight. They don't want to see you change. Friends and families. Yes, there are friends and families that will support you. But if you are living in a family that does not support you, and you're living around friends that do not support you, you have to leave both groups alone. That's all it is to it. Meghan Markle was criticized because she left her father alone and she left the other half of her family alone. And this particular man, I think in England or whatever, he commented about it and downgraded her for this. But if you look at the people that she left alone, they're evil-speaking people and they're hateful people. Her father got on TV saying that that he deserved for her to give him money, and her sister spoke out of jealousy and envy. So she left these two people alone, and that's partly why she succeeded. If she hadn't left them alone, they would have downcast her to where she would have lost all confidence. The only person that seemed to come from her family that supported her was her mother. But you see, you can be browbeaten by your family, and you may have to stand up to them by leaving them alone. Now, let's put all this together. If you do not want to feel guilty for the consequences of your actions as it relates to your children or spouse, you must do all that you can to keep your children out of prison and your spouse out of the emergency ward. This means learning a skill, learning to read, leaving non-motivated friends alone, including your relatives. You must move to a better environment. You must be confident in your decisions and in educating yourself, which means you must be willing to put hours and hours in to studying. It also means that you must keep an open communication with your family. This is a full-time job in itself. When you do not do all you can do to change your life for the better, you have also betrayed yourself. You know when you have not done things the way that they're supposed to be done. You went and purchased a $500 phone just to keep up with your girlfriend, but your house note was not paid. You got a $100 manicure of false nails, but your light bill was not paid. When you spent that $100 also, you know your son could not read, but you didn't use that $100 to pay for a tutor for your son. You need to think and ask yourself, is my behavior helping me to get to my goals? Or ask yourself, do I actually have any goals in life? Why am I floundering, not going anywhere? Why have my friends left me behind? I do not get invited to their homes anymore. What is wrong with me? Why am I not progressing in life? Could it be that you're not living up to your potential, that you have refused to grow? Growing is painful. It is time for you to make some life-altering decisions. All great struggles demand sacrifice. There are some choices that are easy to do, and some stay with you forever. And those choices that help ruin your life are the choices that stay with you forever. To answer the question why you're not progressing, you need to take a look at your friends. Are your friends going anywhere? Who have you surrounded yourself with? Who is your best buddy? Who is the person whispering in your ear? Who is the person helping you make decisions? If you're not going anywhere in life, you better take a look at your friends. A study was conducted in 2010, and someone wrote a paper about this study. The paper was called The Power of People Around You. Listen to the title. The title of the paper was The Power of People Around You. This title is telling you that people who are around you have power over you, and that power is exerted on your life. If they do not have an imagination, you will be influenced to have a lack of an imagination. If they do not have motivation, you will be influenced not having a motivation. Study revealed that a supportive community culture acts best for a person. But the study also revealed that when an individual is surrounded by negativity, this force is greater on the individual than a positive force. In other words, people who have negative attitudes will greatly inhibit your progress. I will say it again. In other words, people who have negative attitudes will greatly inhibit your progress. In other words, negativity is unfortunately a more powerful force. In other words, most teams pull heavily toward the lowest common denominator. The philosopher Epictetus once said, remember that if you consort with someone covered in dirt, you can hardly avoid getting a little grimy yourself. In other words, if you hang around with people that don't brush their teeth and don't wash their bodies, sooner or later, that's what you're going to become. Now listen to this closely. The study revealed that the determining factor as to whether or not the people who participated in this study improved was the motivation of the least fit person in the group. Again, the determining factor for improvement was the person who was least fit in the group. The determining factor was not the most powerful person in the group. The determining factor was the least fit in the group. The study said if the least fit person was motivated to improve, then his or her enthusiasm spread and everyone improved. If, on the other hand, the least fit person was apathetic or worse, his negativity drug everyone down. It's like a disease. It easily spreads through the group. So does motivation, and is quite contagious. The people with whom you surround yourself have a large impact on your life, and in many ways they shape your life. This is why your parents remember when they would tell you not to associate with someone, because they knew that that negative behavior would influence you. Say this again, the people with whom you surround yourself have a large impact on your life. In many ways they shape it. The simple act of observing others can affect your motivation. Working to build a better self almost always means working to build a better community or a better family, a better tribe, whichever surrounds you. This concept holds true whether you are trying to get better at running, painting, writing, making music, parenting, or coaching. It also holds true if you're trying to quit smoking, adhere to a better way of eating, or start a new exercise program. It's true if you are a beginner or on the verge of becoming a world-class athlete. In other words, the people with whom you surround yourself have an enormous impact on your life. In many ways, they shape it. Who is in your team? Who is in the sphere of influence? Whose motivation is rubbing off on you? These are the questions that you must consider when you're not growing in life, when you're not progressing. Who is influencing you? Plato once said, what is honored in a culture gets cultivated there. Putting yourself in a culture that works in service of your goals and values is a powerful way to ensure you live them. Again, Plato said, what is honored in a culture gets cultivated there. So if you honor laziness, that's what will be cultivated, is laziness. Every time you compromise, you betray yourself. Some women tell themselves, okay, I'll screw him and see if this relationship will work. It never does, because there is a compromise hidden in the woman's decision to have sex with a man. When someone laughs at you for working at McDonald's, leave that person alone. Don't quit working at McDonald's. I don't care if that person is your brother or mother. When you work, you are doing what is best for you. And if they do not understand this, then there's something wrong with them. Anyone can go to a bar and act a fool and spend all their money. It takes a self-willed person to take their money home and do what they're supposed to do for their family. Anyone can go to a bar and end up getting in a fight and going to prison. If you got to go to a bar, don't just go to any bar. Find a bar where there are no fools. I knew a district attorney, and we used to go to this particular bar, not together. I met him at this particular bar. When he got off from work, he would go to a bar that was on Livernois. There are about 5 or 6 bars in this specific area on this street, but he went to the quiet one. This bar did not have a pool table, which would draw people who want to gamble and get mad and fight. It also did not have a bar where the barmaid was handing out sex. It was just a small neighborhood bar. The owner worked the bar, he and his wife. But the point of it was, all they served was liquor, and it was quiet. The district attorney told me he could come into that bar, sit down, get rid of his anxiety, whatever, from his job, and then he would go home. The choice is yours, what you're going to do with your life. Now, I'm going to read an excerpt from the book, What You Must Do to Win. Keep in mind, we are discussing your behavior, and your behavior is based on what you think others think you should do, and what you tell yourself is what is most important for you to do. What you must do is live a better life. One thing I must tell you, you may have to listen to this show several times. I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, it is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men. Now for my break.
You're watching Detroit's own WHPR TV. Detroit Live.
Hi, this is Renee stepping out on faith. You can watch me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on the WHPR TV Now app. Download our free app at WHPR TV Now.
Weekdays at 2 p.m. Eastern.
Dear listeners, help us save a life. Stop breast cancer from taking lives. Will you assist us in putting the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer in the Hands of a Million People? Please go to the website www.touchedbythelight.us and download the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. Then email this booklet to 5 friends, asking them to email the booklet to 5 of their friends. We are trying to reach 1 million women with this information to save lives. The death of one woman to breast cancer from our community is one woman too many. We thank you for your support. Reading is not only a necessity of life, it is an activity that can be fun. Why not visit the website touchedbythelight.us and learn more about the books that we have discussed during our programs. Books such as A Christian is Never Desperate, What You Must Do to Win, Life-Saving Advice, Women of Courage Part 1 and 2, You Are the Prophet of Your Life, and the book Murdered Voices. We think you will be glad that you took the time out of your day to visit our website, touchedbythelight.us. Have a great day.
Life is too short for you to be unhappy. Life is too short for you to surround yourself with anything but positivity. And that's what we need to talk about now, dealing with toxic people. Now, we can't change all of our relationships, but we can change some. Some of us might come from families that are not supportive, and some of us come from families and have friends that are very supportive. And that's what we need to figure out now. Who is helping you? Who truly supports you as a person? Who wishes you all the success in the world? Those are the people you need to be around. Those are the people you need to stay connected with. I want you to think about 5 people that you talk to or hang out with the most. Of those 5 people, how many of them are positive influences on your life? How many of those people are helping you build the foundation to your success? And for the people who are not, are you willing to cut them out of your life? Is it worth having people around you that don't believe in you? Positive thoughts attract positive outcomes. And until you can change who you let around you and how much they influence you, you will continue down the same path. But the time is now. You can no longer let negative influences impact your goals. Your new chapter starts right now. Think about the positive people. Think about building with them, connecting with them, because they will be the positive influence that you need to help succeed in your life. They will be the driving force for you to live your best life.
The book, What You Must Do to Win, starts off with the question, are you not tired of being a fool? Then that question is followed by a quote from the Scarlet Letter. The quote says, man, for any considerable period, can wear one face to himself and another to the multitude without finally getting bewildered as to which may be the truth. You loan Paul money, he never pays it back. You help Julia with her children, but she never remembers you during Christmas. There is more to life than looking for an opportunity to lie, cheat, and steal. Consider this, spending 20 to 40 years in prison is a waste of your life. You can do better, and you need to tell yourself that you can do better. Have some pride about yourself. Learn to think. Learn to read well and leave your foolish friends behind. Stop being afraid of life and stop avoiding the responsibility you have to yourself. Some people say if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. Why not read this book and find out how reading can change your life and bring health and wealth to you? You have nothing to lose. 2 hours out of your day will change your life drastically. Just because you started your life from a position of weakness does not mean that you have to remain weak. Take control of your life. Stop associating with men who are fools. In this book, you're going to learn how to recognize a fool, even if that fool is yourself. The only problem with being a fool is if one continues to be a fool. Everyone makes mistakes and everyone does foolish things. That behavior is part of life. But the behavior does not have to be part of your life in continuing that behavior. When is enough enough? When are you going to face the fact that your marriage is no good because of you? When are you going to face the fact that your children are failing at life because of you? When are you going to face the fact that you need to change? You need to know when you are talking to a fool. You need to know how to recognize a fool. The word fool is not a nice term. People do not like it. The word is demeaning and makes people feel bad to be called a fool. Nevertheless, the word remains in the dictionary because it is a word that accurately describes the behavior of some people. If you do not like being a fool, or you are tired of thinking you are a fool, it is time to change. When you left high school, you never envisioned yourself spending time in jail. You never envisioned yourself as a drug courier. You never thought you would burglarize a house or sit inside of a dope house holding a shotgun just to make money. You could have avoided all of these jobs if you had learned to read. All you have to do is learn to read. Reading brings you knowledge, and knowledge brings you creative ideas and know-how. You can learn a new trade by reading. You can learn to become a mechanic by reading, a carpenter by reading, and even a plumber if you know how to read. You need to make up your mind that you want to do something with your life, and then you need to change. You need to change your environment, and you need to change your friends. Wisdom is defined as the quality or state of being wise. Knowledge of what is true or right, coupled with just judgment as to action, discernment, or insight. How wise are you going to be today? Are you going to change? Are you going to start living your life being respectful of yourself and others? If you participate in any of the above behaviors, you are not only foolish, you are a follower. You let someone tell you that that behavior was smart. So one of the first steps of not being foolish is to change your friends. Leave all the foolish people in your life alone. There is too much pain in our communities. There are too many people living painful lives. We have too many unhappy children. We have too many unhappy seniors. There is too much anger in our community. There is too much hatred in our community. And there is too much self-loathing in our community. Something needs to be done about it. A few hours of your time can solve the problem. All you have to do is learn to read and separate yourself from evil thinking people. You must separate yourself from all the predators living around you. One thing which may be painful is that you must realize there can be evilness in your family. Once you identify evil acting people in your family, you must leave them alone. You must not eat with, sleep with, talk with, or walk with anyone who is essentially different than you. If you do, you may lose your life, or either their evilness may cause the death of your children. God is not going to defend your mind for you. It is your responsibility. With the word of God in your mouth and in your heart, you can defeat the enemy's suggestions every time. You know that you're talking to the enemy anytime you become angry at a conversation, irritated, or depressed. Here is a word from Ephesians 4:21 to 24. It says, "Since you have heard about Jesus and you have learned the truth that comes from him, throw off your old sinful nature and your former way of life, which is corrupted by lust and deception. Instead, let the Spirit renew your thoughts and attitudes. Put on your new nature, created to be like God, truly righteous and holy. This is your new identity in Jesus Christ. Put forth your best effort to keep yourself in the right frame of mind. Stay in the Word and keep out of the wrong influences as an act of your will. When you become a good custodian over your thought life, you will be victorious over the negative thinking and the pain associated with that thought life." Ephesians 4:21 says God's word can defeat the enemy's suggestions, and the verse says the Spirit can renew our thoughts and our attitude. Why not try God's word and see what it can do for your life? You believe in ghosts and goblins. You believe in monsters. Why can't you believe in God? You need to make up your mind whether or not you believe there is a God. If you believe God exists, then you follow him. You need to make up in your mind what type of life you want to live and who you want living that life with you or around you. If your best friends exhibit bad behavior, you will just have to leave him or her alone. Galatians 4:13 says, it tells you, "I can do all things through Christ which strengthens me." That is what you want to do. Ask God to strengthen you. These are the two passages in the Bible that you must take with you when you go into battle. A battle as defined as any opposition. I'm not talking about just a battle with guns. I'm talking about a battle of the mind. When you have to go to work and you're tired because you've been working 2 jobs. That is right. You will always be in a battle when you try to change your life and stop associating with bad people. You will need help when you try to extricate yourself from the affairs of others, including your family members. Put these passages to memory. They will serve you well during hard times when you despair, when you are afraid, you think God has not heard you. The world says when you are experiencing hard times, you're supposed to suffer. You are supposed to do what you have to do. In other words, prostitute your body, steal or kill for food, accept low wages, and accept abuse from your employer. Go home, eat a plate of denial, and drink a glass of hatred. You are to bemoan your life and accept your fate. Read these passages several times, especially while you are at work during your break or lunch hour. These passages will help you through the day. Your enemy does not want you to believe in Psalms 23 or Psalms 91. He wants you to believe your situation is desperate. Just remember the situation with the leopards. God has always turned the situation around. The Syrians had deserted their camp, but no one in Samaria knew it until the leopards stumbled upon the Syrian camp. Then they went and told everyone the news. Remember Isaiah 65:24? People were praying inside the wall for God to deliver them, and they had received their deliverance and they didn't know it. It took the leopards going to the enemy's camp for the Israelites to realize they had been saved. Sometimes you have to be still, quiet your spirit, so you can receive directions. We live in a physical world, but our destiny is determined in the spiritual world. God has given us his word to tell us how to conduct our lives. God says we are to take his word to create a life, repeat his word to enhance our creative power. God says choose life. To do this, you must believe and you must stand up. Do not let negative people and toxic relationships keep you from realizing your dreams. You can be a better person. You must stop doing what you're doing and decide on a better life. The drinking, the smoking, the snorting coke, the lusting after someone else's boyfriend or husband, and sexing every day changes what you can realize out of life. Disrespect yourself, have sex with every man you meet, and bring people in, men especially, into your home and allow them to mistreat your children. You have given up. You do not know how to manage your life. How long are you going to go before you change? Your children will not survive if you do not change. Take a good look at your children. They will not have a future if you do not change. Are you not tired of being or seeing black boys and black men being carted off to prison for lack of knowledge and opportunity? Are you not tired of seeing black women standing on the corner prostituting? Are you not tired of envying other people, saying to yourself, I wish that were me? Stop fantasizing, stop being ashamed because you are poor and uneducated and afraid. Stand up and change your life. Change is hard, but why die expressing regret? Reading is one of the most important activities that a person can participate in. A world of information is available to you. This information can help you shape and change not only your life, but the lives of your children and spouse. Visit the website touchedbythelight.us and find yourself a book to read. For more information, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. The Women of Courage Show broadcast on WHPR 88.1 FM every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you are not in your car or near radio during our broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. Scroll down to the bottom of the page and click on the link WHPR 88.1 FM. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the free app WHPR TV Detroit Live, or listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you missed one of our broadcasts, you can view our archive on YouTube at the Touched by the Light Publishing channel. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Please join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Do not.
Are you sick and tired of being you? Do you want another life, a second chance? Then it's time to change. It's time for you to find out who you are. It's time for you to stand up for yourself. It's time for you to think for yourself. It's time to rid your mind of poisonous beliefs like women should only be seen and not heard. It's time for you to learn how other women accomplished their goals. For more information regarding Women of Courage and to be among the countless women learning to manage the challenges, limitations, and rejections of life, go to https://touchedbythelight.us.
I am going to pause for a second to take a short break while you listen to information regarding willpower and encouragement. It is all a matter of learning new behaviors. And please remember, it is easier to build strong minds than to repair injured people. What I said is a modification of a quote by Frederick Douglass. He said, "It is easier to build strong children than to repair broken men." Now for my break.
Don't be discouraged. Yes, you can live a life you want to and be the person you want to. Be a goal getter. Take this bold step to order and purchase these life changing books so as to learn the detail of the struggles and limitations women faced before becoming the icons they are today. Then you can avoid mistakes too. I'm going to be honest with you here. There's only one inspirational book which has encouraged me not to be fearful as a woman, but to take a bold but little step to changing my low self-esteem and total life situation positively, so quickly and greatly. My little secret has been the book's titled Women of Courage. This book has been so amazing and knowledge-packed. Before now, there hasn't really been a right, perfect time to do the right or perfect thing. Most often than not, I've continued to wait for the right time to have things done, but it always never comes. Not until I got hold of the books, Women of Courage. To gain knowledge and becoming a woman of purpose, only then I was able to create the perfect and right time to grab every opportunity that confronted me. I was strong and determined never to get too comfortable and to stop growing. I was able to use and control my anger and temper for the right course. I became the woman of courage that was not deterred of what people say. I created and took advantage of every opportunity where people saw as limitations. Thanks to the story of many courageous and determined women of history. Interesting, isn't it? The success story of many women who read the book convinced me. Here I am, more refined, courageous, and living the kind of life I have always hoped for. You too can become the woman of courage and purpose everyone would admire, just like me.
Remember, if you miss one of our shows, you can visit our YouTube channel at Touched by the Light Publishing to watch and listen to previous episodes of Women of Courage. Thank you. The Women of Courage show broadcasts every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. Please remember, if you are not in your car or near radio during our broadcast, we can be seen and heard on your computer if you go to TV33WHPR.com. Again, TV33WHPR.com. We can also be heard on your phone if you download the free app WHPR TV Detroit Live, or listen to us on Roku at WHPR TV Detroit Live 88.1 FM. If you missed one of our broadcasts, you can view our archive on YouTube at the Touched by the Light Publishing channel. Twice a month on Saturday, I meet with my listeners for a discussion about issues affecting women. Please join us. For dates, times, and directions, you can reach us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. Stop thinking there is nothing you can do to change the world. Your life is important. You need to come out and join us and give a voice to our concerns. For more information on our subjects or our books, you can email us at murderedvoices@gmail.com. We enjoy your listening to the Women of Courage show at WHPR every Friday from 3 to 4 p.m. and every Sunday from 8 to 9 a.m. And we support your local hairstylist. Do not forget to go to touchedbythelight.us website and download a copy of the booklet Black Women and Breast Cancer. This is very important information, and we would appreciate it if you email a copy of this booklet to 5 other women. We are trying to reach 1 million people with this booklet. Help us reach our goal. Your emailing this booklet to another woman can help save a life. Thank you. Recovering your. Remember, in an earlier broadcast, we discussed the word repetition. At that time, I told you that repetition was extremely important in learning. In other words, the more you recited things to yourself, the better off you would be in terms of learning that information that you wanted to learn. But what I did not tell you is that it has the opposite effect if you are giving yourself information that is negative. Then repetition works against you. Now, repetition is the secret to successful learning. The word repetition means to repeat. So this means every time you repeat something to yourself that is negative, you are learning. You are learning negativity. Repetition is a secret to successful learning. The word repetition means to repeat, which means that every time you repeat something negative to yourself, you are learning. You are learning something negative. The word repetition is a noun. It means the action of repeating something that has already been said or written. Also, the recurrence of an action or event, a thing repeated. A piece that was set by a teacher for you to learn by heart and to recite. As you can see, repetition is a great device to use with respect to learning. Say a single cycle of lifting and lowering a weight is called strength training and is also called a repetition. The military uses repetition to improve training and learning. You learn by repeating a word, a phrase, or a sentence. The repetition or restatement of an idea at intervals not only promotes clarity, but it encourages acceptance of an idea. Listen to me say this again. The repetition of an idea at intervals not only promotes clarity, but it encourages the acceptance of an idea. So telling yourself you are stupid over and over again reinforces your belief in this statement. When you repeat and emphasize one idea, competing ideas are subordinated and sometimes driven out completely of your mind. So by talking to yourself negatively, you are driving out all the positive thoughts of your mind. Does this make any sense to you? Do you see that you're acting counterproductive to yourself when you talk to yourself negatively? Repetition is a powerful force in learning. Notice how children are able to recite characters from a story that you have read to them over and over again. They can recite these words with great clarity. When words are repeated at short and long lags, and people are required to recall them, the probability of recall increases as the distance between the repetition increases. The most ancient and effective learning tool ever devised by man is the powerful principle of repetition. So if you're going to induce yourself to learn, then feed your mind positive information. Intentional repetition is a powerful tool. It can be used to make your point. Repetition works. Human beings somehow need to see, hear, and do things again and again in order to acquire any kind of growth or self-improvement. Repetition is essential when it involves memorizing our multiplication table, learning to drive a car, or developing a six-pack of abs. So what are you going to do with this information I just gave you? We are going to repeat these ideas to give you a second and third chance to consider what we are saying. If you're going to induce yourself to learn, then feed your mind positive information. You must begin paying attention to the conversations that you are constantly having with yourself and others. Regurgitating the same phrases over and over again in your life causes you to live the same old life. Getting up in the morning, telling yourself it's going to rain, it will be one horrible day. Why would you do this to yourself? Why forecast gloom and doom into your life? You woke up. Why not be glad that you just woke up? How do you know it's going to be a horrible day? What special talents do you have to forecast your future? You're setting yourself up to be miserable just because it's raining. You are letting a natural occurrence control your behavior and your thought life. You can be offered a job on a rainy day. You can meet an old friend on a rainy day. You can have a wonderful lunch sitting by the ocean on a rainy day. Why close off your life with negative thinking? You can stop this type of behavior by realizing you are in control of what you think. And it is positive thinking that will change your life for the better. The world will send you downhill. The world will depress you. And the world will make you believe that your situation is hopeless. To fight all of the depressing things you are told every day, you must plant the words in your heart and prophesize health and wealth to yourself. You become overwhelmed with negative people in your life, leave them and do not allow them to return to your life. Stop calling them and stop answering their phone calls. Soon what you say will become what you will believe, and you will see the results of that belief in your life. You will hear yourself, I can do this. This is not such a big problem. I can go back to school and I can get a better job. What benefit do you derive from always telling yourself failure is right around the corner? What does it benefit you by telling yourself you cannot return to school, that you cannot apply for a better job? How does this benefit you by telling yourself you will never get married, that no woman will want to be your wife? Negativity benefits no one. You need to read You Are the Prophet of Your Life and turn your life around.
Reading is an activity like none other. The consequences of reading are extraordinary, just as the consequences of not reading are extraordinary, where you will live your life in darkness. You can sit before an orchestra where the music will thrill you to passion, and for a while you will soar. You can turn the radio on in your car and the music will carry you away, but there is nothing like reading. Reading will not only transport you to another place and time, reading will change the circumstances of your life forever. Reading will carry you to the future, where you will see possibilities, and reading will send you to visit the past, where you will see potential. Music provides a temporary high for your relief from your surroundings, whereas reading can lead you to a permanent relief from everything around you. Reading can change your reality, transforming you into a new person. You can read one paragraph and say, why not? Or, of course. You can read one book and say, I never thought of that. And read a second book and say, if only I had known this before. You can see one word on the page and say to yourself, that can be me. I have possibilities in my life. Once you begin reading in earnest, you will realize that you can learn equally from reading about how a man failed in his life, just as you can learn about how a man succeeded in his life. In fact, learning how a person failed is a good roadmap for success, because failure always provides you with an alternative point of view. Think of the man who decided to construct the street light, or to design the fire hydrant, or to design the light bulb. Where did these ideas come from? What was the source of their inspiration? One source of these inventions was reading. Reading allows for the accumulation of information. When this information is assimilated in the human brain, an idea is born. One invention sparks another invention that sparks another great idea until finally man is raised to an enhanced state of existence. Reading provides the recipe for originality. A man says to himself, there must be a better way. He goes to the library trying to find that better way. He reads and reads and reads, assimilating information, looking for that better way. If he does not find that better way in the books he has read, he has still learned something. He has learned that he has to invent the better way. This time he begins to read books looking for ideas to help him as he invents.
Menzies Salon and Spa is now offering $25 flat irons Tuesdays and $55 relaxer, touch-up, trim, style included on Wednesdays. Full body massage for $29. Barbers on duty. Menzies Salon and Spa is a full-service spa and salon located at 22884 Ryan at 9 Mile Road in Warren, Michigan. Call 586-510-4545.
This is Donna Stinson. Won't you join me every third Monday for Can We Talk About It, where we do talk about the elephant in the room. You can catch us on Roku, Fire Stick, Comcast Channel 90, TV 33, On Demand, YouTube, Facebook Live. We are everywhere. Call in and give us your perspective on the topic of the day. I'll be there waiting to hear from you.
Thank you for listening to Women of Courage, and have a great day.